So welcome, you guys. We're so excited to share our juicy stuff from the retreat. And welcome, Kylie. This is your first time, right? Or Kylie?
Yeah.
Is it
Kylie?
Kylie?
Just Kylie. Yeah.
Kylie. Cool.
Yeah.
Yay. Ready to have you. And Sarah is pretty darn new this month. So we got Sarah and Kylie.
Great.
So today we're going to be talking about, oh, and there's Natasha. Just some of the things that Stefany and Jody and I learned at the retreat, and not everything was like training. It was sometimes picking people's brains too, like picking other coaches' brains and being like, so what do you do? I just think it's always fun to network. That's some of the stuff that happens like when you go to Summit is you're just always meeting new people and talking to them and getting ideas. And so some of the takeaways were from our conversations too. So I'm going to mute you guys. And then Stefany, is there a good time to go? Like, do you want to go first since you got a baby? Or do you want to go last?
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Don't do that.
It's like E.T. phone home. Steph, is there a better time?
I can go first.
Okay.
Funny story. I was going to say my husband's not home, but he just got home. So he left because I made dinner tonight and it wasn't up to par. So he went and got Del Taco. And yeah, he's like the most chill person ever, and usually will eat anything, but I put butternut squash on the pasta and it ruined everything. So.
That's a big no-no in my house too.
I'm like, really? Like,
It breaks my heart.
I was so sad. I'm like, well, you could be grateful, but whatever. Anyways. So, my biggest takeaway, and I kind of shared this with my team last night, but I was telling Alyssa, who's on this call right now, but I was just telling them that since the day one, I've been watching Micah's videos, obviously, because she's our upline, and she's always talking about building relationships and building relationships and building relationships. And I always took it to heart, but never actually applied what I was learning. And I think that I totally just hit the nail on the head being there in person with her and her being real and just like saying the exact same thing that she says in the videos. It just like reemphasized that that's what I really need to be focusing on and doing and not sending like cold invites. And I don't necessarily send them cold, but I don't really focus on like cultivating a relationship prior to actually inviting somebody. And so that was my biggest takeaway from the retreat, is to go and just spend time on people's news feeds, commenting and liking their stuff so that they can reach out to you, and to stay consistent on social media so they know that you're available to reach out to. And then my second takeaway that I wanted to talk about was for all those moms out there, you can be a successful Beachbody coach and a great mom. You don't have to pick one or the other. That was probably my biggest takeaway. My second biggest takeaway the whole weekend. We had a Zoom call with a success coach, and he was telling us, you don't use the word or. You don't have to pick between one or the other. You can do both and rock them both. And that just made me feel good, because a lot of the times I'm like, if I am, spending too much time with him and not getting enough time with my business, or like it's hard to juggle both sometimes, but like, no. But I don't know. It just kind of reaffirmed that I can do both and I can be great at both. So that's for all the mamas out there. Or even if you're working full time, you can apply that to your full time job too. You can be great at your full time job and also be a great Beachbody coach. So
have an abundance mentality.
What? Say that again, Jody.
The line that he used for the part you're talking about was to have an abundance mentality. So be a successful parent, volunteer, coach, spouse, entrepreneur. Oh, and he said right before that part, he said, and I was trying to explain this to Jeff, and I was really having trouble not tearing up, and like Jeff never cries, so that was really hard because I always feel like really lame when I cry in front of him. But he said, do you think God in his infinite power created you to only be good at one thing? And so that kind of what hit home for me, that part that Stefany's talking about. I know that I personally really struggle with that because I already have a full-time business that took me a decade to build up. And I'm like, well, that's what I have to focus on. That's where all my time and attention and everything has to go to. I can't have anything else. And even if this one's making me miserable, like that's where it's got to be. And anyway, that kind of opened my eyes too. Sorry, Stefany.
No, that's fine. You said that much better than I did. So, so I don't have any notes in front of me. They're all on my Chromebook, which is not nearby. So those were the two takeaways that I wanted to share. There was another, and I totally blanked on it. So if somebody else wants to go now, let's go.
Come back to you.
I'm going to add to what you're saying, Stefany, because I remember you saying at the retreat, you're like, all right, I am just going to comment like a boss. And I was like, you know what? Me too, which I actually really suck at, you guys. Like, that's one of the things I skip sometimes is like, oh, I don't have time to comment on people's posts, or even on my own posts when they comment, I won't comment back. And Micah's really good at that. And like we were asking her the very last night, she stayed up. We pulled her over to our group and we were like, Micah, talk to us. Like, how are you recruiting 10 to 15 coaches a month? And that's what she said. She was like, I build relationships like crazy. And it's through commenting all the time. And some of the things, I took notes when she was talking. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like genius. It's so simple, but it was genius. So hang on, let me pull it up. I took notes on my Evernote. Called Picking Micah's Brain. She talked about how she'll go through her Instagram feed, like she'll scroll, and she'll either comment or delete them, like, or unfollow them if they're not someone she would want to work with as a client or coach. So, but she's like always commenting, and they're not crappy comments like cute, fun, great. You know, they're like adding value. So she said, so I was like, that's really smart. Just scroll down, and if you're like, this person is not really my kind of person, I'm going to unfollow. So you can kind of also like just always kind of clean up your feed as well and comment. So anyway, so I loved that. And she says she does the same thing with birthdays. Like she's like, I go on my Facebook. She's already maxed out. She has 5,000 Facebook friends. So she's maxed out, which I want to be there. That would be awesome. And
then she's going to start deleting us.
I know. And then she said she goes through and she wishes people happy birthday. So she always does the happy birthday thing, which I think is genius, because who doesn't love getting wished happy birthday? And then she'll do that, and then, or she'll delete them. So on your birthday, you might unfollow you. No, but that's what she does to like kind of maintain her, because she has 5,000, so she has to like delete some people and add some new people all the time. So that's what she does. And she also mentioned you can allow followers on Facebook, which I did not know. You guys probably already knew this, but so people, like, you can click on your settings somewhere and allow for followers so that people can actually just follow you on Facebook and without being your friend. Is that right, Jody? Focus, Jody, focus.
We're trying to make sure you have something to say that you haven't already said.
I remember her saying that.
Okay, do you remember what, like...
Oh, you can follow them instead of actually be their friend, you mean?
Right. Am I right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so then you can have way more than 5,000 in that sense.
Yeah, like if you go to like Melanie Mitchell or Mindy Wender or some of those really popular coaches, you obviously can't be their Facebook friend, but you can follow them on Facebook. And not just their fan page, like their personal page. So anyway, that's just something I wrote down, was to allow followers, because I think you can do that now. I don't think you have to have 5,000. Yeah, and then she comments like crazy. And then she said on her Facebook ads, she promotes her ads. I mean, on her Facebook page, she promotes her ads for $5 a day, every single day. So that's pricey, but obviously she's making pretty good money, so she can invest in that. But it might be worth looking into if you're wanting to invest in your. And then she says she boosts posts, the posts that are inviting to challenge groups or, coach recruiting. So like Megan said this. Megan just did a post today about coaching, and she said she was going to boost it. So anytime you do a post about challenge group or about like the coaching opportunity, you can go through and pay extra, like 5, 10, 15, whatever, to boost it. So, because I think she gets a lot of people through her Facebook fan page. So anyway, yeah, I agree with Stefany. I was like, hey, I even asked her, I was like, so how long do you build a relationship before you invite them to coaching? And she's like a year and a half. I mean, she said she just really tries to like build that relationship, and typically then people come to her. And another reason for commenting on people's posts is that they're going to see, correct me if I'm wrong, but they'll see more of your posts if you're constantly commenting on their stuff. Right, Jody? So I just think, I was like, all right, I got to up my game on commenting.
I have another thing to share. One more last, if that's okay.
Yeah, go.
Okay. So the last thing I wanted to share was something that Jaylyn shared. So I don't think Micah ever reached out to her, if I remember correctly. But she followed Micah either on Facebook or on Instagram, and just watched her story for like a year. And she just like sat there and cried and thanked Micah for being consistent with posting to social media. Like something so simple that we think, oh, no one's gonna see my post, or no one's liking it, or no one's commenting. She even said she never would like or comment on her post, but she still was watching. And a year later, she joined, and now she's like a rock star. So I guess my point with that is just like, don't get discouraged if people are like not necessarily liking or commenting or joining your challenge groups or signing up as a coach like from day one. Just stay consistent, because people will come to you.
So true.
Anyways, I'm done now.
No, this is awesome. Okay, I have more thoughts, but let's mix it up and have Jody talk for a minute.
Ooh, I don't want to take what you want to say though.
It's okay.
Okay.
I love milk. Lots and lots.
Me too. Okay, so I guess my favorite part of training wise was Josh, the speaker that we had, and I think why I liked him so much is because he's not with Beachbody, right? Like, he is a motivational speaker. He's not affiliated with the company, but what I really liked is that he got it, and he got something that I feel that a lot of coaches don't get. And it's like, there is obviously there's times where it's really challenging to get through to somebody or whatnot, but he was like, you guys are literally challenging people to drink chocolate for breakfast. Like, it takes 5 seconds to make it, and his point in that was that, when people are struggling and they're not hitting their goals, he's like, well, of course you're not hitting your goals. You aren't using the tools that you're given. And he was trying to liken that to us as coaches as well, that we're sometimes not using the tools that are in front of us and that we're given. And that's why we're like, why am I not progressing? Why am I not getting any better? And so I just thought that was really funny that he's like, dude, you guys are getting why is it so hard?
Yeah. Hang on. I gotta mute everyone. It's super loud. Just a minute. Okay, now I'm gonna unmute you, Jody. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and And he used the quote from Einstein that like doing the same thing over and over again is insanity, and that we need to stop doing that with our businesses. Don't just look at your team. Don't just look at your team and define like that's it, that's reality. This is the way your team is, and that's like if they're not feel like things are stagnant or whatever or not progressing, he's just like, you don't just define that as reality. That's not a goal. And doing that, just allowing the same thing over and over again with your team is insanity. And life wasn't to be managed. It was meant to be led and challenged. And so his big spiel to us was to dream beyond what we currently have and to stretch ourselves. And so where we're often setting goals like, okay, I'm going to hit diamond by like a safe date, or I'm going to help, 4 people this month, or I'm going to hit Success Club 5 this month. I'm going to help 3 people. And of course, like when I start talking, they all start coming in. So, he's just like, your goal, it's not big enough, so when we stretch ourselves beyond what our current goal is, that's when we start hitting higher goals. Just knocking on my notes off. So like, our Beachbody is always telling us like our minimum goal is to hit top 3 people, hit Success Club 5, and that our business will grow. And that's true, it will, but it's going to grow like, like this, right? It's going to take you a lot longer than if you dream a lot bigger. And he was like, shoot for the moon and then land among the stars. And so I'm like, well, if I like shoot for Success Club 15, but I hit Success Club 10, am I going to be like disappointed in myself? No, I'm going to be like, I went above and beyond like the minimum of helping 3 people. I helped 5 people, 6 people, and you're, going to grow so much quicker. And so he's like, if you miss your goal, and this is was the big thing for me, because what I constantly struggle with is feeling like I'm failing at something. And because, can you close the door? Can you go out and close the door, please? No, out. Go out. So I went to school for music. And so I worked at music for a decade. And then my priorities changed, and I started doing my photography. And then now here I am again, worked at photography for a decade to build myself where I wanted to be, and I'm contemplating switching that up. And realizing that it's like, not a failure, it was a stepping stone to maybe something else, because our lives are constantly changing. But I felt like, if I miss my goals, if I make these huge, huge goals and then I'm never hitting them, like, I'm just a big failure. And he's like, no, that doesn't make you a failure, it makes you a human. And that you constantly want to be like failing forward, and that a loss isn't a loss. It's just an opportunity to learn. And so I guess just kind of where that really hit me is that I don't ever look at it that way. I look at it as like, crap, I didn't do it again. I didn't hit my goal again. I didn't get through to enough people. I didn't da-da-da. But really, it's just an opportunity for me to learn and to change what I'm doing, and to not do insanity of doing the same thing over and over again. And along with that, he had just said 90% of people don't hit expectations, 5% do, and 5% exceed expectations. And those are the people that rule the world. So I kind of want to be that 5 that rules the world.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. So I could keep going on and on about that, but I don't know. I don't want to steal more from you. So.
Oh, well, let me add a little bit to that, and then if you want to add to it, we'll just keep bouncing back and forth. Okay, so, yeah, like he said, this kind of hit me is because I think sometimes we do determine our goals by where we're currently at. And he said, never look at what you have to determine your goals, or like where you're at right now. He said, dream beyond what you currently have. So or where you're currently at. So it's not about what you currently have. It's about where you're willing to go and what you're willing to do. And I was like, oh, that's so true. Because sometimes we're like, well, like, you know, I'm a 1-star. Like, I am never going to be a 10-star, or I'm never going to be an organization leader, or I'm never going to make 6 figures or whatever. Like, how am I going to do that if I'm only doing XYZ? Like, it's hard to see how we're going to hit those big goals. But he said to, you know, dream beyond what you currently have, and to think about what you want to do instead of what you could do. I think a lot of people forget to dream big, and like because they're like, well, I don't know if I'm capable of that, or I don't know if that's even possible. Like, that's not realistic, you know? And I think, he said, like, don't set goals that are attainable and realistic. Like, set goals that you legit want. Like, if you want to travel the freaking world, go for it. If you want to be a millionaire, go for it. If you want to, you know, and like he said, when you reach for the stars, like, the moon, you're going to land among the stars. I just kept thinking that, because like last year in 2015, I was like, I'm going to be a 15-star by the end of the year. Like, I had huge goals, and obviously that didn't happen last year, but like, I did reach big, and I felt like I pushed myself harder than I would have, you know? So I just think it's cool to like push yourself hard, even if you don't reach those goals. And I feel like with Beachbody, it's not a matter of if, but when. Because if you are consistent, like, you're going to reach your goals. That the compound effect's going to happen. Momentum's going to kick in, even if whether it takes you, you know, 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or whatever. I just think it's all about consistency. So hang on, Alyssa's saying something. She said, and you are a badass. You just have to know what you want, not how to get there. If you knew exactly how to get there, you'd have done it already. And she said, I love that part of the book. I do too, Alyssa. I remember that part where it was like the swimming with the president analogy, where she's like, if you want to be swimming with the president, then you just make that goal. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. Like, or if you want to be hanging out, she said, poolside with the president. And I was like, that's so true. Like, you don't have to know the how, you just have to know the goal. And I do feel like when you put it out there, and I've said this about vision boards, like what was one of my goals? Oh, like New Zealand. Like, I did not know how the crap we were going to go to New Zealand, how we were going to afford it and whatever. And then we found like ridiculously cheap tickets. And I just feel like things kind of fall into place when you put it out into the universe that you want something. Same with this ring. You guys know the story of my 2-carat diamond ring. You put it out there and I didn't know I would win it on Instagram. Like, but it's just about what you want out of life. And then I feel like the universe aligns and things come together. Obviously you still have to work for it, right? But yeah. And I do love, here were a couple other lines he said. He said, I have yet to find a top coach who hit Success Club 5. I was like, oh, bam. And then he said, why in the world would you ever shoot for the minimum? So I was like, ooh, yikes. So that's why I think it's so important that we try to hit for sure. Like, that's Beachbody's like bare bones minimum, just to like keep your business moving forward. That's why I think it's so important that we exceed it. You know, like Jody was saying, 5% exceed expectations. Expectations are that we'll hit Success Club 5. So let's exceed that. Let's hit Success Club 10 and 20. Like, why not? So anyway, I just want to add to what you're saying, Jody. Anything else you want to mention about that specific topic?
No.
Okay.
I think that covered it all.
Yeah. And that was another thing. One of the other corporate also spoke to us, and she said, stop reaching just for diamond, because you really should be shooting for 2-star. And I cannot agree more, because Diamond's awesome. Yes, you're going to get like $18 bonuses, right? But 2-star is when you get to clone yourself and open up a second CBC, and you can build that business, and you can put it strategically under your spouse or you, like your weak leg. And then it's like anytime you place an order, it's going to go through your CBC up to your spouse, up to you. So it's like a ping pong, and you're like tripling. You're getting like, I'm probably butchering the way I'm explaining this, but basically you're triple dipping, or at least double dipping on.
Yeah, because if you build your husband at the same time, then you're triple dipping.
Yeah. Like I think if you get your husband and you to 2-star, then you're triple dipping. Am I saying it right? I don't know, but double dipping is a good thing. Triple dipping is even better. So get your butt to 2-star so you can open that second CBC and start double dipping, and then your income's going to explode. Yeah, plus you get the quarterly bonus cycles, which are around $800 each quarter. So, yeah. So that was another thing. They're like, you need to stop reaching just for Diamond and stop teaching your team to just reach for Diamond too. All right, let's move on to some of the next topics really quick. There was a topic about recruiting. Do you want to talk about that at all, Jody?
Yeah, sure. I guess what I liked about that is that, there's often times where I'm like, well, I don't know, I don't know how to be motivating. I don't know how to make people, want this and like be as excited as I am, and, to not let the moments where they're discouraged stop them. And I guess the part that rang the truest for me was that as much as I want that for other people, I need to focus on myself well, because my goal should never depend on my team. So I think a lot of us at the beginning were saying like, well, my team doesn't want to do this, and my team doesn't want to do that, and they're happy where they are, and they don't want to like progress and whatnot. And they were saying if you do your part, then they're gonna want to go with you, right? Like if I'm just hitting Success Club 5 and just happy as an emerald and whatever, then my team's gonna be happy as that too. Like why would they want to like shoot past me if I'm just leading, showing that it's okay to just stay in the same spot all the time? And so I guess I kind of like that I was like, there are people that are going to want to go with you when you show that you're consistent. And that was like the theme the whole weekend. Just be consistent, just stick with it, just, be consistent. And that leadership like starts with leading with yourself. And that, my business is not where I want it to be because of me and not everyone else. And that I need to like look in the mirror and just really decide like, who do I want to be? Like, a true leader helps people reach their goals, but I'm still taking care of mine at the same time. And as I'm doing that, people are going to want to run along with me. And it's the same with Micah. So like, both Micah and Kelly's stories were really inspiring to me because, basically because they have the same profession as me and whatnot, and I already like knew who they were and whatever, and looked up to them. But the fact that they were always consistent and like just pushed for their goals no matter what, like I can't even tell you how many times Kelly was like, Jody, you've got to get here. And I'm like, I'm doing it, but I wasn't really doing it, like I thought I was, but I was just like being okay with like doing my basics and thinking I'm gonna grow, but just grow kind of along with what Josh was saying again, just like I needed to shoot for higher and land there. And so I guess to figure out like what my goals are, take care of me, and know that the more that I'm consistent, that there's going to be people that are going to want that same thing, because it is a wonderful thing to have to reach your goals. And that, you know, in chasing the dreams, like to never lose sight of the fact that we're helping people. And that's got to be a main reason why we're doing this, is to help people. And I'm like very financially driven, so as much as that's like a huge goal for me, it also has to be the other side. It has to be wanting to help people, because the two really go kind of hand in hand, I think, in this business, and it just won't work otherwise. And so they had said that you need a mission statement, and it can't just be like, what is your why? It had to be separate from that, and it had to be something like, what do I want to do for the world? And I was like, oh, dude, I do not know how to answer that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, okay, I have to have a mission statement that's much bigger than like just what my why is. And again, that just goes hand in hand with chasing our dreams.
Yeah. In fact, Nicole and I have talked about this for a while, about, and I want to incorporate it in the new coach training, about not only just having your why, because he said, and I totally agree, he said your why is what you want to do for you, and your mission statement is what you want to do for the world. And I love that. I agree that you need to have both, because also once your needs start to be met through Beachbody, which I feel like Beachbody fulfills a lot of like emotional, physical, mental, spiritual needs. Once those are met, it's like now you want to pay it forward to the world. And so your mission statement is, what do you want to do for the world? So for me, I have always felt that my mission and kind of compelled to help women be confident. And that's why that's part of like our CHIC acronym, is changing habits, increasing confidence, because I feel like so many women struggle with confidence. And if they had it, we could, you know, women, we run the world, right? So if they had more confidence, they could do amazing things with their families and their children and their churches and their communities. And so anyway, that's kind of one of my mission statements. And so think of, you know, what you want to do, because I feel like that gives you another driving force besides what you can do for yourself. Because that was a big part of it too. He said, never lose sight of the fact that you have to help people to obtain your goal. I was like, that is so true. You've got to help people, whether it's helping coaches obtain their goal or helping clients can obtain their goals. Like, that's really what it comes down to. So that was a big part of it. And I love, Jody said this too, leadership starts with leading yourself. And I truly believe that there were some things I had to go through last year before I could lead a team. I had to become a better human and less selfish. And I don't know, there were a lot of, I feel like personal development helped me get there, that before I could grow, before our team could grow. And so one of the things he said was, he's like, you guys, Micah, he said he talked to Micah and he was like, she reads 2 personal development books about a month. So we need to be doing that as a, you know, individually, we all need to be reading at least 2 personal development books a month. So be listening to audiobooks, be listening to, or reading actual physical books, whatever works for you. But that's one of the things that she does consistently, and I truly believe it. And I remember talking to her in the fall at she had a diamond retreat with just like a handful of coaches in the fall at her house, and I was like, so what? She was like, I just can't even emphasize personal development enough. And I so agree. I think that you can only grow as far as, or you can only go as far as you grow. So if you are, and I was actually just listening to this today at John C. Maxwell, some of his YouTube videos. He was talking about the law of the lid. He's like, you can only go as far as like, you know, you can only be as good of a leader. Like there's a lid on everything, and you can only go as far as your lid is. So he's like, if you're like an level 5 leader, then that's as far as you can go. And that's the only kind of leaders you're going to attract are like level 5 and below leaders. So he's like, that's why, again, personal development is huge. And other things he said about recruiting. Oh, he said, top leaders look out the window for those to give rewards to. And then not so top leaders. I don't remember what he said. I would say bottom leaders I'm butchering this. Top leaders look out the window for those to give rewards to, and look in the mirror at who to blame. There, I said it right. So I thought that was so true. They're not blaming anyone else. They're not blaming their upline coach. They're not blaming anything but themselves for their own lack of success. And then he said one more thing. If you're not recruiting often, it won't make up for those who fall off, because guess what? There's going to be people that fall off if you haven't discovered that yet. You're going to have coaches, discount coaches that quit, clients that quit. And so that's why, again, consistency is huge. And then they ended with a quote that said, you can have anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. So true. I have some more takeaways that are super random, but do you have any other thoughts, Jody?
Yeah, the first that he said right after that was to not use the word or, only and. Because if you have to choose, like using the word or is, it will have you having to choose between two things that are important to you. And so, go above and beyond the challenge and say and. Like, again, you can have multiple things. And other than that, there was just like a couple really short things that Jeff Hill had said at corporate that I really liked. Want to say those?
Yeah.
So the things that really hit home, and the reason why I really like Beachbody, and why I even contemplated taking on an MLM or another business, another entrepreneurial endeavor, was because of what we do, and that we're not just offering some product that is, this is like business for person business, and it's literally changing people's lives. And I mean, it had changed my life. And so when Jeff Hill, and if you don't know who he is, he's the president of
Global Sales.
Global Sales. And yeah, so he's the president of Global Sales. He's got 7 kids. They literally created the office in Utah for him, so he didn't have to move because he refused. But he's a lawyer. He's been around a long time, and he's the guy that talks on interviews with people on the National Wake Up Call every week. Anyway, he said that this is a human relationship business, and he doesn't like to refer to us as an MLM because typically an MLM, and he's been in other ones, they're about money first and the product last, and that the product is really inconsequential. And so that kind of hit me. And just the fact that he said, we help people learn to do hard things in their lives. That one makes me want to cry. So I'm like, yeah, we do. If you think about it, not only is it hard for us, because we have to be the product, but we're helping other people to literally change their lives, do something different than they've ever done before. A lot of times it's something they've never done before. And, encouraging them and challenging them and pushing them and, befriending them in ways that hey, I love candles. I also love mascara. But is it going to change somebody's life? Probably not. So I just feel like at the very least, I know that it just felt like this is such a successful endeavor, whatever level we're at. And I liked that head office sticks true to that value, I guess. Okay, go.
Yeah. Amen, girl.
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure let me see if I have any notes from Jeff Hills. Well, I loved what he said, attract, connect, invite. Like that's how you attract them through your posts and through who you are. You connect with them through like what we were talking about, comments, messaging, and then you invite them. And I wrote down invites are seed planters. Like sometimes I think we think invites are, I think if you go in it thinking, I'm just going to plant a seed, this person is likely to say no, but I am planting a seed. Because once you plant that seed, someone's going to, and you say, hey, I've got this group or this boot camp that I'm doing. Would you be interested? Or, hey, have you ever considered coaching? I think you'd be great at it. Then they're like, they might be like, well, no, at first, but then they're thinking about it and they're seeing and they're watching you more and they're going to be seeing your posts and being like, well, maybe I should, or you know what I mean? So really, it's not so much about getting a yes. It's about planting that seed for future yeses, right? So I love that. That was the main thing. He just said you can't take shortcuts in Jeff Hill talked a lot about consistency, and you can't take shortcuts in this business. Like, because we watched this video about a potato farmer and he was talking about how it takes them like 2 years to plant or to prepare the ground, 2 to 4 years to prepare the ground for potatoes. And that's how this business is. It's all about like planting seeds and being patient and being consistent. And there's going to be so many people that quit. And there's going to be so many people that, like I just think about it and I'm like, but I'm in this for the long run. Like I plan to do this for the next 10 years. So, and I just think, I remember Amy Silverman once said, think of all the coaches you're going to get because your coaches quit. And you'll get their coaches under them. Like, so I was just like, it's all about consistency. Same with like, the fitness, it's all about consistency, right? All right. So I'm going to finish with some of my random takeaways, and then Stefany and Jody, you guys can share any more of your random takeaways, and then we'll wrap it up. So, one other takeaway I really, really liked, and this was from Ashley Smith, who is like number 15 in the business now. She's killing it. So you can follow her on Instagram, Ashley Smith Fitness. But she said that she writes her posts like as if it was a journal entry. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool way to think of it. And so if you see a lot of her posts, they are kind of long. And so I'm not saying you have to do every post like that, because frankly, I don't have time for that. But I think the reason people connect with her is they feel like they're reading her journal. Like her social media is like reading her journal. So they feel pretty connected to her because she talks about how she feels. She'll say like, oh, I kind of was frustrated today because my son didn't sleep very well last night and yada, yada. But I'm just going to get in my workout or whatever. She always turns it around, so she doesn't vent. But she just kind of shares her feelings, and I think a lot of people connect with her because of that. And I was like, okay, I need to work on that, because I'm more of like the photographer mentality, like here's a pretty picture and a one-liner. Sweet, peace out. And I don't think people, and I think that's fine to do occasionally, but I don't think people connect with that if you're just like, happy Thursday, you know what I mean? And like, here's this sunset, or do you know what I'm saying? So she gets super real and personal. And I think that's why she's doing awesome, is because a lot of people she says a lot of people will say they feel like they know her even before they meet her. So that made me just kind of rethink my posts a little more and try to get a little more personal. What else? Oh, this was another idea that I'm glad I looked at this notes again. There's so much to forget. Micah says that she keeps a friend, like an interest list. You know how in the past, and maybe you haven't heard of this, but we talked about this a while ago in a meeting, where you can create you can like group your Facebook friends into different lists, and that's what you'll see in your feed. And they're called and if you don't know how to do this, you'll have to ask in the in the team sheet group. But basically you can like group your friends. And so what Micah does is she just groups, or I don't know if it was Micah or someone else, but they group anyone that they've been talking to about a challenge group and then, so that's one group. And then the other group is anyone they've been talking to about coaching. And I was like, that's so genius, because like I have this is how I track, right? So I have my spring cleaning, anyone that was interested in the spring cleaning group, I've got a list here. Anyone that's interested in the sneak peek, I've got a list here. So if I just add these people to a coaching list, and then these are like potential coaches, potential clients, then I can go through my feed and I'm always building relationships with those people. Like if they say no to me now, hopefully I can build relationships and then they'll want to work with me in the future. So I thought that was a genius idea. Another thing that I thought was really cool was one of the groups of coaches went off in their room and they were like, we got to do our power hour. And so it was interesting. Everyone was like, Thursday, the first day we got there, they're like, hey, you guys, we got to do a workout because half of us have been traveling all day and we haven't got in our workout. So that was a huge priority. So we all did a workout in the living room. And that was super fun. But then there were a group of coaches that basically did the same thing, had that same mentality. And they were like, we got to go do our power hour. And they all went in like a room in a corner and like did their power hour. And I was like, how cool would it be if like we treated our power hour like a workout? Because you know how you feel when you don't get your workout. You feel guilty. You know that you're not going to get as good of results at the end of your whatever group workout you're doing. And I was like, it should be the same thing. So I just thought their example was kind of cool. I thought that was neat that they do that. And and then another thing was, two things was they said they do is that your coaches need to have that fitness conversion, because once someone has a fitness conversion, I feel like they're more likely to talk about the business, right? I think most of you guys are on here because you've had some sort of results from a challenge group. And so to really not only focus on our new coaches in getting them started right in the business, but also helping them with their fitness goals still. So that just kind of made me want to help my coaches a little more, because I always follow up with my clients on Friday. Like I try to do follow-up Friday, follow up with my clients that I've gotten a challenge group and see how they're doing. But I typically don't follow up with my new coaches that are in a group. And I'm like, no, I need to be treating them just like challengers, seeing how they're doing. So anyway, keep that in mind with your new coaches to help them with their fitness goals as well. They also talked about, and I'd love your feedback on this and then I'll shut up, was they said some of them do weekly power hours and they take turns hosting them. And I was like, that would be cool. Instead of me always doing the power hour, they said they like take turns having someone do the power hour posting. So I was like, oh, that might be fun. I don't know what you guys think, if you think weekly is too much, because right now we're doing it every other week or what, but feel free to comment with your thoughts on that one. But that was just something some of the other coaches did. And then there was another one, but I'm going to have her be a guest speaker and talk to us about that. And she talks a lot in Facebook groups, and adds value in Facebook groups. But I'm going to have her talk to us in May about how she does that. So those were some of the random takeaways I got. Any other takeaways you want to share, Jody or Stefany? obviously just being there and feeling the energy of everyone else, and of course connecting more. We had like a sleepover every night with Stefany and Jody and a bunch of other coaches. It was just so fun, you guys. So I hope next year, of course, next year I want to have a retreat just with Team Chic for any diamonds. So so be working towards that, because it's gonna be freaking fun. And of course Summit's gonna be a blast too. So I think anytime you can go to an event, you should. All right, so any other thoughts, Jody?
Yeah, just that I just really, I know that it's a simple and small thing to be with other like-minded individuals and to like have a slumber party with a bunch of girls and to have like these team calls and stuff. But I just find that that alone has helped to motivate me in the other areas and just really helped me to feel fulfilled a lot more. Like I feel like it's its own kind of personal development. I feel like it has you know, helped me to get out of my shell, forced me to like, and just everybody else's stories. I think that was one thing is like, you know, we're getting to know each other here and whatnot, but once we like hear each other's stories and what each other goes through, like I feel like that connects us in a way that other people just can't understand. And there was some crazy stories. I was like, whoa, my life is awesome.
I know. After
Wow.
you hear everyone else's trials, you're like, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, there's some pretty hefty trials, but I mean, also some like really great outcomes to those trials, but like, people's whys and what they, you know, brought them into this and whatnot. But just kind of, you know, being able to have people want to share that with you and let you be a part of that is pretty amazing too. So I really do think that when you guys go to Summit, you're like, I don't know, totally different people.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do want to introduce Veronica. Just hopped on. She's a new coach too. Say hi.
Hi, Veronica.
That's Veronica. Wait, no one else waved but Veronica. There we go. Joelle, stop it, you rebel.
Yeah.
So yay. Okay. And announcements really quick. What announcement? Oh, okay. So we have the let's see. We've got a Diamond Dash going on if any of you guys want to push for Diamond by May 18th. Most of you are in there. If you're not and you want to be, just let your upline coach know and you can be added to that message thread. And then let's see, this on Monday, we're starting our coach open house is what I'm calling it. I like to mix up the names so it's not always the same. And it's just a sneak peek into coaching group basically. So I'll send out signups for that for the posting. And then of course we're going to do a live Q&A next Wednesday like we always do. So be sure to hop on that and share your story and invite people to that. And try to get at least 5 to 10 people in this open house group because these are huge, you guys. Like this is how I get most of my coaches is from open house groups because they get to see all the videos, ask questions, all that stuff. And it creates deadlines for the training group. And so really try to post about it in the next, I'm posting twice. I just posted tonight and then I'm posting about it on Sunday and I'm probably going to do a couple posts in between just to like proof posts about why I love coaching, how it the blessings of coaching. So that's what's going on. And then it's May. Oh, and then in May we have May 1st, we're going to do a swimsuit slim down group. And we did it last year. And what we did basically was you don't have to do this, but I'm going to offer a $10 gift card to my favorite swimsuit store, which I think I'm going to promote Rad Swim because they have e-gift cards. They have really cool swimsuits. And then I'm going to see if I can talk Nicole into posting her ab workout video as a bonus too, because it's pretty sweet. So that's going to start May 1st with prep week, and we will be co-hosting that as a team. So if you've never done a group before, you can do it with us and promote it. So that's the main thing that's going on. And then I will, of course, make a calendar in May too. But any questions before we wrap it up? Okay. Am I going to wear stripes? I am. I'm wearing stripes. And so is Alyssa. And oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I didn't even notice till you asked that. Apparently, it's chic to wear stripes. That's why we're Team Chic, duh. Any other questions? Jody, you better go change your shirt really fast. We should have themes like, okay, everyone.
Well, we have pajama parties.
I know.
Every day's a pajama party for us, so.
We need to do more pajamas or more like black. I like this idea of all of us wearing the same clothes.
We had the ugly sweater party.
I know. We could be twinning on every meeting. I'm seriously going to do this. You get ready. Or we'll do like red lipstick, right, Meg? You would love that. Do like everyone wear red lipstick. It'd be so fun. You know I love to dress up. Okay, well, if you have any other questions, just message me. And thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys got, something from this as well. The retreat was amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to join us when we have our own. So have a good weekend, you guys. Bye.